Junk food supper.
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 Food supper. Junk food
Junk
supper.
food supper.
Junk food supper.
Junk food supper.
Welcome to
Junk food supper.
Junk Food Supper,
Junk food supper.
episode number 46, I believe. I am Parker, and this is the podcast where we get together pretty much every week, more or less, to talk about weird, wacky, wild movies. This week we're going to be talking about I Don't Know, Jack. Is that the name of it? Right?
That is the name of it, yeah.
Okay.
You didn't know, but it is I Don't Know Jack.
I kept getting it confused with You Don't Know Jack, that party game.
I know.
When I was
I know
looking
that.
for it. Yeah. Anyway, this is also, we got Sean Byron here in LA. Sean Byron, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm chock full of COVID. Which is, it's not a pleasant experience, as I presume you have encountered before. I think this is my first time having COVID, if you can believe it. I think I made it all this way.
Yeah, you're the last of, we did have a running joke for a little bit between the three of us and Kevin, about who would be the final person to get it out of the three, and it looks like it's you. Because, Kevin got it first, and then I got it last October.
Let's be honest. Kevin never let the party stop.
That's true. He was not sheltering in place.
No, he flew to Vegas without us. We tried to tell him, look, the casinos are going to be dead. There's going to be nothing to do. He was out there licking handrails.
Yeah, he also was unvaccinated. He told me that the Defiant is his favorite band because they're standing up to the man and standing up to vaccinations. That's what he told me.
I mean, they are just goofy horse shit.
That's what he said. He said they are just goofy horse paste. That's not what he's going to be taking because he doesn't believe in science. So I don't know, or something. I'm mixing my metaphors.
Yeah. Well, and the results were he got it real quick.
Yeah, he got it
so
quick.
Joke was on him. Meanwhile, I'm like quadruple vaxxed over here. I was hoping that there would be another vax. I feel like, hasn't it been a while since they've offered a vax?
Mm-hmm.
They're just courting disaster at this point. And then sure enough, we had the Monster Palooza convention this past weekend and had a great time. Cool convention. I can tell you a few highlights. But the net result of it is I think everyone who attended walked away with COVID.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that almost happened last time when I came down. The head guest, Robert Englund, had to cancel because he had COVID. So he could have been a super spreader at the event. So I bet it was probably somebody like that who gave it to everybody.
Honestly, it could be his fault still. Maybe it was still lingering around the Pasadena Convention Center. Who knows? But
that could be.
No, that was wild, though. I remember that ridiculous video that Robert Englund posted from his hotel room in a bathrobe, apologizing to everyone, but being like very non-specific about whether or not he had COVID.
Yeah. Well, he's a big fan of the Defiant. I mean, he had it. He had something, but he didn't want to admit it was COVID. He doesn't think it exists.
Yeah.
I
do feel like there probably was a higher percentage of anti-vax people at like a Monster Palooza convention than just going to the supermarket or your average venue, right? I mean, the odds were stacked against me.
Maybe in LA, because there's a lot of people coming in from out of town and stuff. I feel like up where I live, 99% of the people are fans of the Defiant. I live in a very uneducated conservative place, and so everywhere I go is like just people coughing on each other. It's like the scene from the end of Society, like just people's buttholes everywhere and stuff. I can't imagine that LA is like that as well, but maybe I don't know. Maybe I've got no idea. But horror fans, if anybody, are definitely not getting vaccinated. They court death.
I don't want it.
That's what they say.
It's not cool, man. I mean, maybe I'm being prejudiced, and maybe this is a stereotype that I shouldn't propagate, but I look at a guy in Art the Clown cosplay, and I'm like, there's no fucking way you got the needle, bro.
Could be. I mean,
These
Art the Clown.
Terrifier fans. But by the way, that was the number one cosplay, Art the Clown.
It always is. It was at a Horror Hound in Cincinnati too. People fucking love this guy.
You want to try to guess number 2? And this is non-scientific. This is just based on my own eyeballs over 3 days.
Just like the people who say that vaccines don't work.
Yeah.
Just based on
I'm
it.
doing my own research.
I would guess It or Deadpool. One of those two.
Nope.
Hmm.
I don't think I saw a single Deadpool. There was a incredibly cool Pennywise, though, where it was like, early in the morning when we first showed up, we're loading in our stuff. I see this guy setting up something. He's like unloading stuff from his car, and he's got like these weird, long, like pillowcase looking things, and he's got like a hospital gurney. And over the course of like 3 hours, we go in, we start working. I come out to take a smoke break. I see he's still like unloading stuff. And it turned out he was building this massive Pennywise spider that had like a hospital gurney kind of like base to it so he could wheel it around. And he sits inside of it with like a Pennywise clown mask. It was fucking cool.
That sounds, delightful.
But I have no clue why he didn't just bring a friend to help him set it up. Probably would have saved hours of effort. He was really struggling out there. I felt bad for him. Like nobody was helping this poor Pennywise spider guy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I mean, yeah. I guess if you're the kind of guy who's like going to dress like Pennywise in 100-degree weather and then ride around in a spider, maybe you don't have a ton of friends, or maybe your friends are already inside, they didn't want to, maybe his friends are just jerks. I don't want to disparage this man by saying he's got no friends. Maybe his friends are just unhelpful.
Maybe he's above friends, he's got higher priorities in life. It takes a lot of commitment to be the Pennywise spider. He doesn't have time for these dalliances like friendship.
That could be. That very well could be, yeah.
But you are avoiding the question about what was the number 2 cosplay.
I said either it's got to be either Pennywise or It.
That's not it. Let's get a real guess. Come on.
The number, Mr. Hanky.
It's one of your favorite horror villains, let's say.
Was it the Phantom of the Paradise? Because we saw a really good one there last year.
It was the Ghostface Screamer.
The Ghostface Killer.
Yes.
Was it
the Screamer from the Scream movies?
Was it like the normal one from the movies, or was it the cool one from the TV show?
What's the difference?
He's got a different mask, slightly different mask on the TV show.
I couldn't tell you the difference. They all look the same to me.
Okay. Well, it's like noticeably different, but I saw a TV version at the Horror Hound, which delighted me because I really like that TV show. And I got a picture with that guy.
Is that still ongoing or?
No, it was 3 seasons. It's over now. 2 seasons are only really counted. The 3rd season sucked, but no, it's over. But it was really good.
I was kind of surprised to see this many Screamers, but
yeah, that is pretty.
I feel like the last movie was not that well received, right?
I think that's true. Yeah, I don't know. There are some people who really love those new ones, but there were the Scream people there, right? Maybe that influenced it.
Oh yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, because them Scream boys were there, as we established on the last episode. Yeah.
Yeah, last year there were a lot of Freddies there. I think probably because Robert Englund was there. But yeah, so
that's kind of bogus. That's like when you're not actually a Dodgers fan, but you're going to the Dodger game, so you buy the hat on the way to the game or whatever. Where were you Screamers last year? That's bullshit.
I agree. Also, kind of like
weather Screamers.
Yeah, also kind of like a real easy cosplay. Like you can like set your sights a little bit harder. Like it's just a Halloween costume essentially.
Yeah. I will admit though, it's very charming to see that particular costume in public. There's something about it. Like when you see one of those guys popping out from behind a bush, it does feel like you're in the movie versus like I see a Jason walking around. And I'm like, oh, cool Jason costume.
That is true. Yeah. I've gotten that feeling too. Cause you see a Jason and it's like not totally movie perfect.
Yeah.
or like the guy's short or something. And like same with Freddy's, like, you know, it's like, oh, this is a cool Freddy, but it's like very obviously like a mask or whatever. But like with Scream, it's like, yeah, like that's the Scream outfit. Like it's perfectly the Scream outfit.
Yeah. So I guess sometimes those kind of, cheap ass approaches pay off.
True.
You know?
Yeah. Did you pick up any cool swag while you were there? Any cool Ghoul movies or art or anything?
Just a few magazines, but not too much. Kept it pretty limited shopping wise.
Okay. Was a fun event. Did you guys sell a lot of stuff?
We did pretty good. We did a lot better than we did last year. I think we still always, would have loved to have sold out everything, and that didn't happen. But yeah, it went, I think, better than we expected. So it was,
That's
it was
good.
pretty good. A success.
Yeah. I like those kind of success stories.
Yeah. Man, there was a dude with a full-size Chucky doll in like a remote-controlled car, like a kid's RC kind of car. And it was super cool looking. But this motherfucker was trying to drive this thing through the sold-out convention hall. And like people are like tripping over this guy. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah, that's not a cool move. Like those halls are crowded. You don't want to be tripping over a Chucky.
Put him on a drone or something. Fly him overhead.
That's a good plan.
There's high ceilings in there.
Yeah, that could work.
Yeah, I'll call
Maybe
him.
not with Chucky. You might have to do it with like the Puppet Master puppets.
I was just going to say that.
They would fit perfectly.
We'll pick one of the ones that's not Nazi themed.
Oh, well, I don't know if there is one like that.
Yikes.
They're all pretty problematic. Well, I hope you don't die of COVID. I hope you get better.
Yeah, likewise. This is kind of like day 4 of feeling like shit, but it's actually a lot better today than it was yesterday. So fingers crossed, tomorrow will be even better.
Nice. We're all pulling for you.
No.
Kevin,
why?
Still denying COVID.
Well, I didn't get COVID this week, but I did go to the movie theater.
Okay, all right.
I saw a film called In a Violent Nature. It's this horror movie that all the kids are talking about.
Oh, this is the one where it's like you're seeing the events of the film more from the killer's point of view. Is that the deal?
Yeah, which I did not know going in. The only thing I knew was that it was sort of like Friday the 13th, like a Friday the 13th ripoff. But yeah, it's like if you went to go see a Friday the 13th movie and Jason was the protagonist the whole time, camera never left him, kind of a thing, which is like a fun idea that we've always, like, I feel like anybody who's watched a Friday the 13th movie while stoned has like pondered or talked about. So I'm glad that somebody finally made it into a movie.
I feel like this is not uncommon in the world of like thrillers, like a Henry portrait of a serial killer is kind of this, right? But is the distinction here, like why people think this is kind of novel, is that it's like a supernatural killer?
Yeah, I mean, he's like pretty clearly a Jason, so he doesn't talk at all. So you're very like quietly following this guy around the woods for 90 minutes. So it's very like, it's like some Workmeister harmonies type of a slasher movie.
Okay.
Kind of like, I mean, I've never seen this movie, but it's kind of like that movie, The Ghost Story, like a very like quiet kind of a thing, also it's got the 4:3 aspect ratio, which I think Ghost Story has, right? So
yeah.
Sounded like that movie to me, which I still haven't seen that movie, so maybe I'm way off base. But like,
I thought you liked Pie.
I do like pies.
I need to see that movie then.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like, I don't know, it's very, I mean, there's a lot going on in it, so I feel like going in fresh. I don't want to spoil anything for you, but it's a very interesting movie that I didn't love, but it might be one of those movies where I watch it again in like a year and I'm like, oh, this is actually the best movie I've ever seen in my life, kind of a thing, because there's a lot of weird, interesting ideas in it.
Did you feel like it was socially irresponsible?
A little bit. Like there's one part where the killer looks right into the camera and he says, "I don't believe in vaccines." And I was like, what is this about? Why would they?
I don't want it.
Actually, well, there is like one thing that was like kind of annoying. And I was like, why are you dating the movie by doing this? But like, there's a scene where like the campers are all around a campfire and they start talking about like cancel culture and toxic masculinity and all this, which is like, fine. Like I'm not opposed to those things being discussed by any means, but it's like now you've dated your movie that otherwise feels pretty timeless. I mean, there's like some cell phones and stuff, but like not really. And also like it doesn't really like they're not like those things aren't like involved in any of the themes of the movie. So like it was like, why have you done this? And it's like, I don't know. That's kind of like some of the stuff that bothers me about the movie. It's like, well, why this now all of a sudden? You had a perfectly good scene and then why this is happening kind of stuff.
But nobody in the cinema had COVID, to your knowledge?
I think I might have been the only... Oh, no. There was one other guy in the theater. It was me and Jennifer, and then there was one guy a few rows behind us. He may have had COVID, or he may have been kind of a wuss, because there's one really brutal kill in the movie. And we started hearing like coughing and stuff from behind us, like during the kill. Yeah. And I was like, oh man, he must be really taken aback by this. You know, he must be choking on his drink because this is such a violent, brutal murder. And then he ran down out of the theater and then like came back like just like a second later. So I think that the kill was so brutal that he went down and threw up in the trash can and then came back. But I can't prove it. But I think that's what happened.
Well, you can't prove it because you didn't follow the story.
I should have asked.
Your journalism instincts failed you. Like you should have inspected the trash can.
I should have, because I would be very curious. Because like you always hear that, like it's always like Terrifier 2 is coming out, and there are news reports about people shitting and pissing and farting all over each other during the movie, throwing up all over each other because it's so gross.
This could have been the leading story on the Hanford, newspaper scene.
That's true. It would definitely be a better story than the story about how there's no Surf Ranch Pro this year, Sean. I know that you're probably as sad as I am.
Let's not even talk about that.
Yeah. It's pretty upsetting.
It's almost like they shouldn't have built the Surf Ranch in the first place.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like pretty controversial in the surf world. I was like reading some stuff and like I think a lot of like surf fans and surf like journalists are like happy that they're not doing it this year. I think people kind of don't like it as far as like being a spectator sport venue. So I don't know. Maybe they'll never do one again.
I mean, no offense, but you have to imagine virtually no journalist or competitor wants to travel to your area.
That probably is true. But I met a lot of Australians when I was out there.
Oh, well, yeah, they got no fucking clue what's the good or bad parts of California. You just tell them California, maybe slip a beer their way. They're on board, man.
That's true. They were a very nice folk. So very friendly.
Of course, they were drunk.
Probably drunk. They seemed receptive to the fact that I enjoy the band Frenzalram, who's from Australia. They were nice people.
Save that for the upcoming Ozploitation round of Music League.
Oh man, that would be great. I will save that.
We should do that next game, right? Maybe for August. Ogsploitation.
I think that would be good. I mean, yeah, I don't know much about us.
With no AC/DC permitted.
Oh, you can't do that.
So, I'm sorry.
Well,
let's dig a little deeper. And I like AC/DC.
I mean, I think anything outside of the person who picked AC/DC would be digging deeper. I can't think of one other Australian band outside of AC/DC and Frenzalram.
I'm sure there's good ones.
We can ask Tom. Tom knows.
Of course, this subject would come up when I have COVID. Any other time, I would have thousands of Aus rock bands front of mind. Who's the band from Stunt Rock?
You mean Stunt Rock?
The Wizard Band. Remember them?
The Wizard Band. Yeah. I don't know. We'll find out though.
I guess the music kind of sucks, though, if a dude's not on fire falling off a cliff.
That very well could be. That's the optimal way to see music. Well, speaking of the optimal ways to do things, I have an optimal segment here for you, Sean.
Okay.
This is, later on, we're talking about a documentary about Jack Nance. And so I thought, what other actors out there have talking head documentaries about them? And would Sean be able to guess the subjects of these talking head documentaries based on their body of work?
Oh,
What are you doing O's? I'm explaining this exciting game show to you, and
I mistimed it. It was supposed to be kind of the punctuation on your setup. I failed. Again, COVID. This is too much responsibility for a sick man to have to be running this soundboard.
Only a sicko would give me the O drop at this point in time.
Anyway, so you're going to give me the title, and I'm going to tell you who it's about, and I'm not going to be on Letterboxd at the time?
No, that's not really what it's going to be. This is a game show. It's called Who's That Man?
Oh.
Tentatively. Maybe I'll come up with a better name by the time we're done with the segment. But Who's That Man? I will give you movies that this actor, I guess maybe they're not all men. This is a bad title for the game show. But I will give you movies that this person was in, starting with the most obscure, according to Letterboxd. I'll give you 5. I'll give you 2 for free, 1 for free. Wait, hold on. What do I have here? 6. I'll give you 6 in total, 2 for free. But after that, every time I give you another movie that this person's been in, I have to take away a point from you. You start out with 5 points each round. 4 points each round. I don't know. This is this is very hard to explain.
And again, you think this is fair to subject a very ill man on his deathbed to this kind of quiz show?
Yeah, I do. Well, I came up with it before I knew you were sick. Now we're locked in.
It's true. Totally we are locked in. I mean, it's already been scripted. We got the network approval.
Yeah. So for each one of these documentaries that I'm not going to tell you the name of,
okay,
I will give you 6 movies that the subject has been in. We will start with the most obscure, according to Letterboxd, and work our way up to the most well-known. I'll give you 2 free ones to start out with.
Okay.
And after those 2 ones, every movie I give you, you lose a point while you try to figure this guy out.
And it could be a guy or a girl?
Could be a guy or a girl.
Okay, because he said guy a bunch of times. Again, trying to trick me.
It's gender neutral.
Okay.
Could be a guy or a girl. So you can win a total of, I think, 20 points in all. If you guess them all super quickly. But that probably won't happen. Or maybe it will. I don't know. Who knows? We've never done this before. This could be the easiest game on earth. Could be anticlimactic.
Oh.
But are you ready for your first subject? And
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, this one may be the easiest. This is kind of a softball here first. This person was in the film Used Cars that we did on the show from 1980. And they were in Evil Tunes that we also did on the show from 1992. Do you think you might?
I don't know it off the. Jeez, Louise. Oh, is it David Carradine?
He was in Evil Tunes, but he
doesn't pop up in Used Cars.
Not as far as I know. If he does, that would be quite the coincidence.
Other than Carradine,
who is? Well, are you ready for your next one? You will lose a point if you get this next clue.
Okay. Yeah, I think I need to.
This person was in Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight.
Oh. Is Billy Zane in? I don't remember him in the other movies.
Billy Zane was a cool dude. He was in Twin Peaks, but no, it is not Billy Zane.
Man.
Are you ready for a new clue?
I'm ready for the new clue.
This person was in the film Chopping Mall,
The Jim Wynorski movie.
a Jim Wynorski classic.
The classic Killbots film.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Dick Miller.
Dick Miller.
Of course it's Dick Miller. Damn,
did
how
it.
did it took me that long to get to Dick Miller?
You've got COVID.
Man, you just take Dick Miller for granted sometimes.
That's
Don't
true.
you though? Like, I mean, it's. I'm sad to say it, but I should be treasuring every moment with him. But you just kind of expect him to be there, and then you kind of forget about it.
That's true. That is true. All right, so you win 2 points. 2 points for Dick Miller.
Okay. Damn, dude, I forgot that he was in used cars.
Let's see. So your next person here. They were in the film Oblivion, which we did on the show. It's a 1994 full moon movie.
Okay, I don't really remember that, but I believe
like a
you. Was it like a
space
kind of a
western.
titty movie?
A
Okay.
titty movie, a space western titty movie.
It was
they
kind
were-
of a titty movie, though, right?
Oh, it definitely was.
I have an image of like the poster having like some large breasted blonde on it.
There are definitely some scenes in that movie that were meant to make your penis hard. And this
Alright.
person was in Scooby-Doo and the Samurai Sword from 2009.
I don't know what the fuck that is, dude. That's a cartoon
That is a cartoon.
that I've never seen or even heard of.
They've never. Well, the first ones, the free ones, are obscure ones.
Man,
That's the name of the game.
All right, well, I mean, I guess I gotta pay for a clue then.
Okay, damn it, this person
All
was
right, thanks,
also.
thank you for that.
All right, was also in Entourage. And when I said that they were going to be in Entourage, you could have easily guessed it was a he based on Entourage, so that's fine.
All right,
Not a lot of
never
ladies in that
seen
one.
I've never seen Entourage, but is Donnie Wahlberg on that show? Who the fuck was on Entourage?
Jeremy Piven was in Entourage, but not Donnie Wahlberg.
You're telling me there's no Wahlbergs whatsoever involved in
He
Entourage?
was-
Doesn't that seem like an oversight?
Well, Entourage is actually based on the real life story of Wahlberg. It's executive
Okay.
produced by him.
Oh, okay. All right then. I knew there was some connection. Does me no good in terms of actors appearing on screen, though.
All right, are you ready for your next clue then?
Sure.
Star Trek VI: The Undiscovered Country, a movie that you would be.
You know I've never seen Star Trek 6.
I know you would be well acquainted with the cast had you shown up to Spock's Summer.
All right, at least tell me, is this a TNG movie or it's purely classic guys or...
That one's a classic, guys.
Okay,
Came out in 1991.
so I'm going to say William Shatner.
It is not William Shatner.
Okay, it's not going to be Nimoy. He was dead by the time Entourage happened. I think Doohan was dead as well, probably, right? It's not going to be Michelle Nichols because you said he.
Mhm.
Oh, is it George Takei?
It is George Takei. I feel like telling you the cast members is probably a mistake since everybody knows them pop culturally. But yeah, that's fine. That counts. Yeah, it was George Takei.
Okay. If it wasn't Takei, I would have said Walter Koenig, and then I would have been out of Star Trek actors. So I'm glad that it was Takei.
It was Takei. You get 2 points for that round.
All right.
All right, so we got 3 more rounds to go
Okay.
until we crown a champion.
I wonder who it will be.
This next person was in Saved by the Bell, Wedding in Las Vegas from 1994, and Highway to Hell from 1991.
Okay. Was it Ben Stiller?
It was not Ben Stiller. He's in one of those, though.
Was it Gilbert Gottfried?
You got that correct. It was Gilbert Gottfried.
Hell yes.
That's a full 4 points for you.
I could see Ben
Classic.
Stiller appearing on a Saved by the Bell just kind of randomly, though.
Yeah, it would have been around that time before he was famous. He could have been there.
Yeah. He shows up in a few weird places before he got big.
Yeah. Well, speaking...
Including that Encino Man thing that Kevin sent on Discord today.
Oh my god, I've been wanting to see that Encino Woman movie for years. It's like lost media. I've never been able to find it.
Yeah, well, but I'm talking about that early screen test for the movie. You saw that he posted that, right? Yeah.
Oh, well, I saw that he posted that, but I don't know, maybe I missed it. I just assumed it was the Encino Woman, like, lost movie.
No,
thing.
this is with Ben Stiller and I forget who else doing a screen test for it before they recast it with Paulie and Brendan.
Oh my god, that's the greatest upgrade in cinema history. I can't imagine how bad that movie would have been.
You don't like Ben Stiller?
I do like Ben Stiller.
I don't like Ben Stiller at that time. I gotta be honest. I think he's funny now, and certainly like 10, 15 years ago, he was doing a lot of funny stuff, but that midnight, like, people love the Ben Stiller show, and I like some of those sketches, and definitely, the writing is very funny, but I don't think he had figured out his persona really yet.
Yeah, and I assume he probably would have been playing the Sean Astin role, like of the straight man.
No, I think he was going to be playing the frozen caveman.
Oh my god. Well, this sounds crazy. I got to see this stuff.
Yeah, it also could be that this was a COVID fever dream, because I've been sleeping 18 hours a day.
That's possible. Well, speaking of sleeping.
Yeah.
Hopefully nobody slept through any of this person's movies. Including these first two. Skate Dog from 2018. Skate is spelled SK8.
Okay.
And Wild Bill from 1995.
I've never heard of either of these things, so I'm going to say, is it Lassie?
It is not Lassie. Wild Bill is a Walter Hill movie, so I'm surprised you have not seen it. It's not very good, though, but it's not Lassie.
All right.
Would you like to buy a new clue?
It's not Rin Tin Tin.
No, I'm not.
Okay, yeah. I think I will need that clue then.
All right. The next one is Hamlet Part 2 from 2008.
Oh, that's the Steve Coogan movie.
Yep. Ricky
Is it
Coogan
him?
was... It is not Coogan, no. Although
What do you mean?
No, Coogan is not the person.
But that is that is
the guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That was understood. Yeah, that is his movie, but he's not the handsome.
Okay. I don't remember who else was in that. I did see that theatrically, but I don't remember anything about that, and that would have been true pre-COVID as well. So I think I do need one more clue.
Okay. Your next clue is Buffy the Vampire Slayer from 1992.
Oh, the original movie with is that Christy Swanson?
That is Christy Swanson.
But it's not her. Right?
Correct.
Okay. Man, I thought that was a dramatic pause and then a setup for a victory. I don't know who the hell was in that movie. Was like Seth Green in that movie? I don't even remember who the fuck was in that thing.
Could have been.
It seems like he would be in it, right? I don't know.
He was on the show.
Yeah.
Do you need a new?
I do. Yeah, I need more clues.
Okay. This person was in the film Ready to Rumble.
No, with David Arquette?
With David Arquette from the year 2000. One of the very first movies we ever did on this very show.
Is the answer Goldberg?
That would be amazing if Goldberg was somehow
in all those other movies.
Yeah.
So it's not Goldberg. It's not going to be Eric Bischoff. I don't know. Who would have been in all of these? Including Wild Bill, a movie that I've never heard of.
Who could it be?
I don't know.
All right, well, here's your
My final?
final guess.
Okay.
This is a movie called Scream from 1996.
And we established it was not David Arquette. Was Courtney Cox also in those movies?
I don't know that we established that first part.
I thought I said David Arquette before when we said Ready to Rumble.
You must have COVID because you ascertained that it was the David Arquette movie.
Yeah.
But you did not ascertain.
Come on. In the interest of speeding things along, you should have just ringed a bell and sent me a diploma at that point.
I'm not so sure about that. You got to clarify if you're asking if this is that person's movie or if that person is the answer.
As the editor of this episode, we'll see how this game show segment cuts out in the end.
What are you gonna cheat?
Presumably I could use a robot voice to make it sound like you congratulated me and send me that aforementioned diploma.
Okay, I got that robot voice right here.
Fuck you, Wayne.
All right, so it's David Arquette.
David Arquette is the answer.
I get either 1 or 2 points depending on.
Yeah, I'll give you 1 point for that one. Also,
right.
This whole time I was scoring wrong. You get one more point, one additional point than what I've been telling you. Because I'm bad at math.
All right.
You cannot kill David Arquette. So this is the final round. You have, at this point in time, 12 points out of a total of 20. So you're doing pretty good.
Okay.
The first 2 obscure movies by this person are The Crow, Wicked Prayer from 2005 and a word that I'm surely going to mispronounce, Kinjiti, Forbidden Subjects from 1989.
We watched that movie.
We did watch that movie.
Yeah. What was the first one? The Crow? Which Crow?
Wicked Prayer.
Wicked Prayer. From what year?
2005. This
is that like the third or how many crows did they make?
This is the 4th one.
Wow. Well, we know it's not Brandon Lee. We know it's not Charles Bronson. They're both dead by 2005. Who was young in Forbidden Subjects? Man, we watched that a year ago? It was not that long ago. I should remember who the fuck was in that other than Bronson.
That's
but
true.
I don't. So.
Okay. Yeah, we did it March 19th, 2023. Or at least that's when I watched it.
Yeah.
All right. So you need a new pick
here. Lay it on me.
From Dusk Till Dawn 3, The Hangman's Daughter from 1999.
That barely does me anything.
I've been wanting to do this on the show for a million years because I think it's a fun movie.
Was like Fred Williamson or somebody like that? Is it like a blaxploitation guy or?
Is that your final answer? A blaxploitation guy?
Yeah, that's my final answer.
No, it's not that guy.
Okay.
You need another one here?
Yeah.
Halloween from 2007, the Rob Zombie one.
The Robert Zombie. So we know that it's not a skateboarding kid on his front lawn who would never be permitted to be cast in one of his films. I don't know, man. You're asking a lot of questions here.
I'm very curious. All right, the next film is Spy Kids from whatever year that came out, 2001. It was a better time, a simpler time before 9/11.
The Bobby Rodriguez film, I believe, right?
Yeah, that's the one.
I never seen that. It's not going to be the kids because they probably weren't around in 89 for Forbidden Subjects. So how do we split the difference between all of these years and who would have appeared in these movies? No. I got no idea.
No clue, or your final clue here.
Final clue.
Final clue. This person was in the film from 2010, Machete.
Oh, is it Danny Trejo?
Danny Trejo is the guy.
Of course.
He is the subject of the film Inmate Number 1, The Rise of Danny Trejo from 2019.
Of course. You know what? If I had kept in mind the concept of the game, which was that these are people who had documentaries made about them, I think that might have helped me, but I totally forgot that until just now.
Well, you'll know for next time. We'll play this game again one day.
But look at it this way. We didn't waste, the clues. We got to use most of the clues.
That is true. Got to use a lot of the clues.
If I just if I just guessed them on first, title for each of these guys, that's no fun.
That's true. So the movies in question, To Be Takai, starring George Takei, Gilbert, That Guy Dick Miller, Inmate Number 1, and You Cannot Kill David Arquette, which is a very good, fine movies. The ones I've seen of these are fine films.
Cool.
So
I've never seen any of those, but I will consider all of them.
You should watch the David Arquette one. It's mostly about wrestling somehow.
All right. I'm into that.
Well, you've got a score of 13 out of 20, so that's on the winning side. So congratulations, you're a winner.
Oh, I am the champion this time?
You're the champion. You did it. Good work. You win this game that does not have a name. Who is that person, perhaps, is the name. Well, congratulations. We also have some voicemails. If you would like to check in with these people.
Let's get those pickled icemen on the blower.
Let's do that. Here is one that I don't think that they left their name, but here they are.
Sean Parker, thank you so much for doing the Lord's work. I love Junk Food Supper. I wanted to, from a few episodes back, this is Martin Dawes, by the way. I'm a few episodes behind. So the one that I am caught up on is the Roger Corman tribute, and Sean, I could not agree with you more. Death Race 2000 was the one that really got me into Roger Corman. How awesome are these cool cult movies? But regardless of that, I have got to ask you guys, what the hell movie or whatever it is from is the quote from? Now tell me, what is the source of these videotapes? So really what I'm asking is, what is the source of these videotapes? So if you could please tell me what that movie is from, I would really appreciate it. Thank you for everything you guys are doing. I love your podcasts. You guys are great. Thanks.
Well, Sean, I don't know if I've ever agreed with you more.
You know the answer to this question, right?
It's from The People versus Larry Flint.
That's right. You got it.
During one of those courtroom scenes.
I think I still have it somewhere. Yeah.
Now tell me, who was the source of this videotape?
There you go. Also, this one.
What, do you specialize in porn?
Yeah. Two very good drops.
Yeah.
That first one's very useful when you're doing a podcast about movies and videotapes.
Yeah. I encourage people to steal it for their own podcasts.
Yeah. Thank you for the kind words, caller. We appreciate it. And I agree. I agree. That's one of my favorite drops. So I'm glad you appreciate it.
Also,
I still appreciate the kind words that you've said. And Death Race 2000 is very good. I recently found out that there's like 12 Death Race movies somehow. There's like some sequels and like a bunch of remakes and stuff like this.
Yeah, there's like some Jason Statham ones, right?
Yeah, I knew that there was one Jason Statham one, but I think that there's like 6 of those. And then I think the OG had a sequel or 2 as well.
Not real sequels. I mean, there's something called Death Sport, right? Which is like David Carradine's on a motorcycle, and some people like to say that it's like a spiritual sequel to Death Race or whatever, but I don't think that there's like real ass like canon sequels that were made near the time period, right? I mean, I don't care if there's a sequel that comes out 30 years later.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I listen to this podcast, and they do like every movie that's in a franchise, and they've been like doing Death Race movies for like 4 months or something now, but I haven't listened to any of them because I haven't seen any of the sequels, so I don't know exactly what the deal is. But I guess I should fix that.
Yeah. Huh?
But we've got some more voicemails here. We got one. This one is from Riley.
Hello, Junk Food Dinner. This is Riley checking in from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, home of Stampede Wrestling and Parker Bowman's favorite wrestler of all time, Bret the Hitman Hart. I just wanted to say congrats on this little JFD spin-off you got going. I was worried without Kevin it would turn into 3-hour-long Schrankmeyer Diaries and C-grade Corey Feldman films, but I think it's really coming to its own. I was enjoying the Roger Corman rankings you guys did the other week, which got me thinking, will you guys ever review the film Streetwalking? It's got Oscar winner Melissa Leo. She plays a teenage runaway in New York. She starts working the streets. Catwoman herself, Julie Newmar's in there, playing a 50-year-old prostitute with a 20-year-old ass. And I think the big selling point is just got tons of 1980s New York sleaze at night. Yeah, really good little Roger Corman classic there. If you guys haven't seen it, I'd say check it out. And I hope you do it on the show one day. Anyway, take care, and thanks for the great episodes.
Well,
thank you for the kind words, Riley.
Now I know I'm dreaming. If 2 voicemails in a row said that they enjoyed this crap that we put out without Kevin's involvement.
It's a fever dream you're having.
Yeah.
You're hallucinating the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, that explains why Ben Stiller is here with me.
I've been wanting to see the Streetwalking movie for a long time, and many others in this genre. Like, for whatever reason, Roger Corman and probably some other folks were putting out like just a huge amount of movies about like prostitutes.
You're talking your Angels.
Yeah, I think Angel might have kicked it off. But yeah, Angel, Streetwalking, those one movies. Oh, what are they called? Right, they're by Cat Shea. Oh my God, Strip to Kill. There's like a whole bunch of Strip to Kill movies. There's that movie that's ripped off from Strip to Kill that we did do on the show. But yeah, just like a lot of movies where like normal people become strippers and prostitutes. Like, what a great genre that is. I love it. So I should check this movie out.
Yeah, I feel like the caller really sold it extremely well. So now it's on us.
Yeah.
He did his job. Now we're going to see it.
True. Well, let's see this final voicemail. This is from our buddy Peter in Portland, an alumni of the graduating class of the JFD meetup earlier this year.
Yeah, and the Devil's round of Music League, I should mention.
Formerly from Portland. Not sure if I'm calling in time to make it to the Kevin episode, but regardless, hello to everyone listening. A couple weeks ago, you were giving your tribute to Roger Corman, talking about your favorite Roger Corman cameos from the man himself. And one that I really like that you didn't mention is Looney Tunes Back in Action, the Joe Dante movie. So that's the Corman connection. And we get a brief shot of Corman on the Warner Brothers set directing a Batman movie, which is cool. I would have liked to have seen that. And Looney Tunes Back in Action is a really good movie. It's like a crime against taste that everybody forgets that movie, but then talks about the very mediocre Space Jam movie. Also, in the world of very old dudes who won't be with us much longer, I've been trying to catch up with Mel Brooks movies. You all, have any of you guys seen Silent Movie by Mel Brooks? I watched that just the other day. I never hear anyone talk about it, and it was really good. It was really funny. Way better than The Artist, in terms of a modern silent movie. Also, he's got this short cartoon called The Critic, where he does voiceover for one of those abstract, artsy fartsy sorts of animated short films. And that's very fun too. Lesser known entry in his canon. Anyway, what are your guys' favorite Mel Brooks movies? Do you like Looney Tunes Back in Action? And I don't know. Hope you all are doing well. Love you guys. Thanks for the show. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Thank you, Peter, for the call. I like Looney Tunes Back in Action. When I was doing a big deep dive into Joe Dante a few years ago and watched that one, and yeah, it was surprisingly fun. Definitely better than Space Jam. Both Space Jams. Better than both of them. Have you seen that one, Sean?
I saw it probably, I don't know, when it first came out, and I haven't been back to it, but I don't remember liking it. I don't know, it probably just was that I wanted Joe Dante to make, more Gremlins or something, and this was not what I wanted from him. But I'm sure I would probably like it a lot more now, because on the whole, most movies are so much worse now that you go back and you watch something like that and it seems great again.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's certainly lesser Joe Dante. It's not a masterpiece, but I think it's fun. And then Mel Brooks. I mean, me being a person who's obsessed with Hitchcock, I like High Anxiety. That's probably grown to be my favorite one. But I mean, Blazing Saddles is undeniably the funniest thing that's ever existed. This one time I was watching that movie on a first or second date or something like that. And the part with the beans around the campfire happened. And it was this horrible, horrible thing where I had to try to pretend to be mature and not laugh at farts. And I just failed miserably at it. But luckily she did too. So it wasn't that big of a deal. But because that movie's just infinitely funny. But yeah, those are probably my favorites. I got a soft spot for Robin Hood too.
Yeah, I think Men in Tights is probably my favorite. I don't think it's his best. I guess probably Young Frankenstein or even The Producers are probably his best two movies. But Men in Tights was just on TV so much at exactly the right age for me that it's hard for me to not have such a soft spot for that one.
Yeah, I saw that one in the theater on day one because I was a big Dave Chappelle fan from the MTV half-hour comedy hour. And I don't even think I knew who Mel Brooks was at the time. I was in fourth grade, I remember. And I walked all the way to the movie theater with my friend John McDonough to see that movie. And we were not disappointed.
I feel I probably first saw it on home video. I feel movies were kind of weird back then. Or I guess I was just, since I was a kid, I was not really tuned in to every movie coming out, but I did catch, the Kevin Costner one in theaters.
Oh yeah,
I guess that probably had a much bigger marketing campaign, so they were able to snag me.
True. They had McDonald's toys for that one, I think.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, they did.
Despite the fact that the third act is rape-based and very violent.
Well, I got bad news for you about what the Middle Ages were like.
Oh, no, I thought they were really happy. I guess not.
No.
Well, that's all the voicemails. If you would like to leave us a voicemail, please do so by calling 347-746-JUNK. That's 347-746-5865. Or go to facebook.com/junkfooddinner and hit the call now button. Or go to the Discord and just tell us the things you want to talk about, because we're always in there. We'll just talk to you.
Also,
if you have your own modus operandi, you can email us at jfdpodcast@gmail.com, which we'll probably read. We don't read them on the show too often, but we like them, But yeah, so I think we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to learn a lot about Jack Nance, so stick around.
What was that?
That was my alarm.
Congratulations, Sean, on your correct guess. David Arquette is correct, and you guessed it.
Next Step Studios presents a unique documentary about a real character, Jack Nance, the actor who became a cult icon with Eraserhead.
His particular type of hair would just lock in. And everybody said, no, that's ridiculous. That's absurd. Look at this. But it was just so beautiful and perfect.
He used to say about me, because I was so much taller, that if you can only get one woman, you might as well get the biggest one you can get.
Jack said to Catherine, get in the stall, horse face. Bam! And out! Jack goes down on his knees, tears squirt out of his eyes. She cut his nose open with a ring, and that kind of ended the evening.
There's a guy here, that's passing out at the bar. I said, well, what are you waking me up for at 2:30 in the morning? I said, call the police or call a cab or something. And he says, well, the guy says he's your brother.
He said, if you don't help me, if you can't help me, I'm going to jump out this window.
Dennis Hopper promised him that when he went to Studio 12, if he checked in, that they'd give him the stuff.
I think I told him at the place that I had lied to him.
From the day he met that girl to the day he died, he loved her more than anybody I've ever seen.
I think he wanted to, help her in whatever problems she had and thought he could, but he couldn't.
He told me that she said, he's mange, And suddenly, because of the storm,
from his childhood in Texas to his untimely donut shop death, discover the man behind the image through the colorful tales of those who knew him and loved him.
The fact that Jack's death was an unsolved homicide in some kind of quirky way, I think you will love that. It's an unsolved homicide. You can just hear him saying it. And I'm sorry if I offend anybody by that, but, you gotta know Jack.
Next Step Studios presents I Don't Know Jack.
All right, welcome back to Junk Food Supper. The movie that we're going to be talking about tonight on the show is I Don't Know Jack, as we mentioned before. This is a documentary about the life and, to some extent, death of Jack Nance, an actor who is probably best known for playing the lead role in Eraserhead, but also, playing Pete on Twin Peaks and having a pretty consistent presence in everything that David Lynch did up until Jack Nance's death. And he also did some other stuff that they cover in this documentary that turns out some of is pretty interesting. So this documentary came out in 2002 and it was directed by a guy named Chris Levins, who, I got to be honest, I don't really know what his connection is to Jack Nance. I was looking at his other credits, didn't seem obvious based on the credits as to how he would have ended up making this, but he did, and I'm glad that he did because he was able to put together a bunch of interviews with people who were close with Jack Nance, his friends, his family members, co-workers, and it's cool to hear their perspective. Outside of some home videos and little snippets of interviews here and there from like Wrapped in Plastic magazine and things like this. We don't have a whole lot of Jack himself. I mean, this was made after he died, and so there are no like exclusive interviews that he gave for this or anything like that. But the dude lived such an interesting life that even hearing about it secondhand is pretty interesting. And one thing that I really liked about this is a lot of the friends of Jack Nance seem to be these people from this kind of like small market, like regional live theater world, you know, these kind of like maybe like Shakespearean trained or like, you know, like summer stock kind of actors, who I find like just very interesting to hear from, because, you know, these are the kinds of people that I guess you might see like parodied in like a Chris Guest movie, or maybe they might pop up sometimes in like a regional horror movie from the 80s or something like that. But outside of that, like I feel like you got to go out to like Renaissance fairs to see these kinds of people. And I love these kinds of people who are just like dedicated to being thespians, you know, just for the sake of it, you know, whether or not it's going to make them any money.
I agree. Yeah. There's, I feel like early De Palma has a lot of those people who like ended up actually being the kind of actors who do make a lot of money, like Robert De Niro and Gerritt Graham. But yeah, I feel like he also did that Dionysus in 1969 movie, which is just like a filmed play of weirdos reenacting like some Greek god nonsense. Like, so yeah, I like when people come from that sort of stock, and yeah, I like that they exist. And yeah, I do think that they're pretty much relegated to local theater and Renaissance fairs now, sadly.
Yeah, like there's that guy, like the really big fellow with the small top hat or whatever.
Oh yeah.
There's that guy.
He looks like a big leprechaun.
Yeah. Then there's the guy that's got like super like Chalmers energy or something. I don't even know how to explain the guy that's like sitting down in that chair the whole movie. Anyways, I love all those guys. Like they're really cool. There's also plenty of David Lynch in this. The movie opens up with a story that Lynch tells about Jack Nance getting like, hit by a Buick or something when he's like 3 years old or something, which was a pretty good story. Also interesting is the fact that David Lynch's initial connection with Jack Nance was regarding the subject of wood. That basically Lynch had built a wooden rack for the top of his Volkswagen that Jack Nance noticed and said, "Hey, that's a cool rack that you built." Like, and then they started talking about wood for a while, and that's how they built their friendship. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah,
you know, given Twin Peaks.
I like that part a lot. That was probably my favorite part of this whole thing, because yeah, he's talking about Lynch was auditioning Jack Nance for Eraserhead, and he said it was like Jack Nance was like kind of rude and flippant to him, and like he kind of didn't want to do the movie, was the impression that he got. And then they were walking out of the auditions, and then that's when Jack Nance noticed the fine woodwork on his rack on his car, which David Lynch had made himself, of course, because he loves wood. And then that, of course, like you said, made them friends, this wood. And then David Lynch, with like the biggest smile on his face, says, we started talking about wood and garbage, and we became friends.
Yeah.
And I like that a lot.
And overall, I mean, Lynch is very candid in this. Like, this is not the cryptic Lynch who, you know, a lot of times if you watch a documentary about a Lynch movie and he's being forced to like talk about the meaning of his movies, or even sometimes just like even how he made something or what he was thinking in terms of casting, like a lot of times he just doesn't want to give you any answers. But in this context, when you're just asking him about his friend, he's not cryptic. He just gives you the straight story, which is good.
Yeah, I agree.
We also get some of the context of the earlier life of Jack, growing up in Texas and going out to San Francisco and meeting up with this theater troupe up there, and that's where he meets Catherine Coulson. And it's fun to see like photos of them together Even I think this is a couple years before Eraserhead even. They're out there in San Francisco doing their thing, meeting these cool people that will, decades later memorialize him in this documentary form. And then, they talk a little bit about making Eraserhead and, the multi-year process that was, and Catherine basically learning how to do hairdressing for the movie because they were spending so much money on barber bills because the shoot ran for multiple years. One thing that actually I didn't remember, because I had seen this before, but I forgot, and they mention it in this Eraserhead section, that Alan Splett, the sound guy for Eraserhead, and kind of, I think, the guy who informed Lynch's approach to sound, they mention in this that he was legally blind, which I guess I had completely forgotten. And I guess, is maybe evidence that he had like some sort of like a Daredevil sort of a thing going on here where he's got like superhuman abilities to produce like the coolest soundscapes. I'm glad that he found, the right line of work.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that stands to reason. If you're blind, I think all blind people can probably do the score for Eraserhead, like inherently, like that's just like one of the powers you get. So, but yeah, I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad that despite his blindness, he created the cool ass sounds in Eraserhead.
Yeah. We also get some time with Dennis Hopper in this documentary. He talks about checking Jack Nance into rehab because, the second half of this documentary is mostly about, the downfall of this guy who, was a hard drinker and liked to party and couldn't really find the off switch, it seemed like. So, of all people, Dennis Hopper is the guy that ends up checking him into rehab. And we get, a funny little story there. We also get to see a funny story from the casting director of Miracle Mile, which I didn't really expect. But most importantly, we hear from the writer-director of Meatballs 4, who tells a pretty gripping story about a rainy night with Jack Nance on the set of Meatballs 4 that I don't really want to spoil because I feel like it is worth hearing. I feel like if you haven't seen this documentary, you probably haven't heard this story. And I think it's a really good story. And I don't think you'll ever watch Meatballs 4 the same way ever again after hearing, what happened. So yeah, overall, as a documentary, this was clearly made cheaply. It's kind of a labor of love sort of a thing. They got access to a lot of, people who were close to Jack. And I feel like, having seen this now twice, I do know Jack, at least, better than I did before. And, I'm glad that they made it. It's the kind of thing where I wish every actor had a documentary like this, where you could just hear from their friends and get kind of a picture of what they were like. And, in the case of Jack Nance, it is kind of a sad story because he does have kind of a rapid downfall right at the end. Not to spoil anything, but his life does end in a unsolved homicide, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. Very unexpected too. Like, only knowing him from the David Lynch movies, like he just seems like a pleasant fellow, So for his life to end that way, reportedly from like drunk fist fighting, it's like, that doesn't make sense. This is Pete. He should be putting fish in percolators, like not fighting people drunkenly in Hollywood.
At a Winchell's Donuts.
Yeah.
Of all places. So yeah, overall, like if you're a fan of David Lynch movies or if you're a fan of Twin Peaks, I think this is well worth a watch. You'll get some insights into the people who made those, movies and TV shows so memorable. I also wanted to mention that the producers of this just recently completed a Kickstarter for a new documentary about Catherine Coulson. that's going to be called I Know Catherine, the Log Lady. So I guess keep an eye out for that. I don't know exactly when it's going to come out, but presumably at some point because they got it funded. But yeah, overall, I like this. But what did you think about this, Bowman?
Well, I'm interested in Jack Nance. He's usually my favorite part of David Lynch movies, or the top 3 usually. I mean, I guess David Lynch is usually my favorite part of David Lynch movies, especially when he's in them. But I like this Jack Nance. And I kind of knew a little bit about his story. A few years ago, Wayne, friend of the show, used the word friend very liberally there, invited me onto his podcast, Motion Picture Massacre, to talk about Meatballs 4 because he knew I was a Feldman fan. And then that's where I learned about all this crazy stuff.
So you did know the story.
Yeah, I knew before this, but I did not know. Like, I watched the movie and then Wayne filled me in on the show. So, or maybe I read about it after watching it or something. But I do want to go back and watch it now because as this movie shows, a lot of that emotion comes out in the movie that he was experiencing in real life, which is really weird because it's like a titty Corey Feldman movie.
Yeah, but it's crazy with the character names being the same and the dialogue and the fact that that was the next scene he's got to shoot.
Yeah, definitely wild. And I mean, he's really good in that scene. I mean, obviously, because probably not acting at all. So yeah, that's such a weird movie for that to happen to you during Meatballs 4 starring Corey Feldman.
Yeah, I mean, it would almost make sense if it was Lost Highway, you know?
Yeah. That would that makes sense. But having a horrible life-changing tragedy during Meatballs 4, that doesn't make sense to me. So I was kind of intrigued about his life and not to be mean to him, but that stuff near the end is probably the most interesting stuff about his life, or at least the way that they present it here. Because, I don't know, some of the stuff was a little too niche for me to really care too much about, his early life. I don't really care about anybody's early life, even people I really love, before they're 18, it's well, your life probably was pretty boring, I would imagine. So maybe that's a me thing, but some of the stuff near the beginning I didn't care too much about. It picked up when he met Lynch. I liked all that stuff, like I said. All the log lady stuff was fun. David Lynch tells this story where Jack and log lady are married, but they're no longer really getting along, and he got really drunk and he was yelling at her when they were all hanging out together. And he called her some sort of mean name, and then so log lady punched him, and it hurt him really bad, and he cut his nose, and he was bleeding. And David Lynch tells this story with the biggest smile on his face, it's like a heartwarming tale. Exactly. And yeah, so I don't know. It makes me think that David Lynch is a much weirder man than maybe you would expect. I mean, I guess maybe based on his movies, you would think he's weird, but he also seems very wholesome and normal somehow for making such weird movies.
I will also say, in terms of cinematic appearances of David Lynch having very blackened teeth, this is peak black teeth for David Lynch.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed that. It looks like Japanese kabuki makeup or whatever, you know?
I have a theory that he just has wooden teeth because he likes wood so much.
It could be. I mean, I know that he has never stopped smoking or drinking coffee. That's what he's doing around the clock, but it's crazy in this.
Yeah. It's bad in this. I wonder if it's just the way they shot it or something, because it looks better in Twin Peaks: The Return than it does here. But maybe he's had some work done or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's pretty rough. And it's emphasized because he's smiling just ear to ear the whole movie talking about his friend.
Yeah. He looks like a ghoul in this.
That is true.
His hair is kind of weird. He's in this kind of weird transitional state with his hair.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways.
Yeah, so that was some of my favorite stuff, the Log Lady stuff and the David Lynch stuff.
You didn't like the performance art stuff in the streets of LA?
Nah. I mean, it's fine, but I don't know. I mean,
but he got a haircut.
He did get a haircut. I like some of that haircut. He
impressed his fellow actors by his dedication to the role by getting a haircut.
Yeah. I do like how they talked up that haircut. Like David Lynch was like, Jack was very unique in that his hair could stick straight up. I don't know that that's like super unique, but I mean, his hair did look cool during the movie.
Yeah.
And like, so like David Lynch's hair is pretty similar to Eraserhead's hair. And I mean, obviously Eraserhead is about David Lynch. So like, I imagine that's on purpose. Like that Eraserhead's hair is supposed to look like David Lynch's hair. Is that right?
I think so.
Any inside stories?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe so.
I like that. I like that it's like that movie's like very literal in some ways, like in terms of that kind of stuff, but then also like the most abstract movie ever made.
But it seems abstract, but it's like, oh, the guy is pulling the levers. Like it couldn't be more on the nose, you know?
Yeah. That's kind of the fun of David Lynch. Twin Peaks has some stuff like that too.
Yeah, there's definitely like a lot of stuff in Twin Peaks where like it'll hit you in the face where you're like, why didn't I fucking realize that like multiple episodes ago?
Yeah, I assume that's probably how I will feel when we get to the end in a couple of weeks.
It's getting danger close.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't want to spoil any of the ending stuff. I mean, maybe we already did a little bit, but
I mean, I think you can talk about his death and stuff like that is fine. I just wanted to not talk about that Meatballs 4 story.
Yeah, that's a good story. I'm a little upset that they didn't get Corey Feldman for this, both in that I like Corey Feldman and also it would be really interesting to get the take of a person who obviously has never felt a human emotion or had any talent in terms of acting. I would like Corey Feldman being that person to talk about Jack Nance, who has both of those things.
Yeah, just in terms of what it was like to witness that, you know, to act against that.
Yeah, because Feldman is in that scene. So yeah, that would have been interesting. They could have got Feldman.
I don't blame them for not trying too hard, though.
Yeah, it was. I mean, he might have still been like going through rehabs and stuff at this point in time, maybe. The Dennis Hopper stuff is fun. He seems like a nice guy, the Dennis Hopper. And yeah, so I don't know. I mean, this is okay. If I was like a super Lynch head, I probably would like this a lot more. But being like sort of a middle Lynch head, it was just okay. But I mean, it's like, or maybe it's not even that. Maybe, I mean, this is like from the days where like a documentary could just be like you filming a guy with a camcorder in a room that has no lights in it. So yeah. I mean,
but I don't have a problem with that. I mean, it's about the quality of the information being conveyed. You know, this is like a historical document where you get to learn about this guy. Like, I don't need Ken Burns style like zoom ins on 3D renderings of Jack Nance's, backyard in Texas or something. Like just give me a guy talking to camera. That's fine.
Yeah, I mostly agree, but there are some stories that go on like very long without any kind of cuts, and it's just like, all right.
Yeah.
That's fair. We could cut to something here. So yeah, if you're like a Lynch head at all, you should watch this for sure. I'm excited to watch the Log Lady one when it comes out. But yeah, it's not like, if you're not a Lynch head, this probably wouldn't be for you necessarily. And so I don't know. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad I watched it, but it's not like my favorite movie or anything now.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. I would not have subjected Kevin to this, and I would not have subjected you to it before, forcing you to watch, 15 years worth of Twin Peaks or whatever we've been doing. But I feel like given your investment in this guy at this point, you owe it to yourself to see this,
True. I'm also going to be watching that Oz one about Lynch. Like, I'll watch any of the Lynch stuff at this point. Like, I'm fully in. Like, I'm not fully in love with him because I will never like Wild at Heart. But I'm fully in on finding him interesting. So I will always, from this point on, be glad to watch any David Lynch stuff, David Lynch adjacent stuff that is out there.
Tell me you at least liked Willem Dafoe in Wild at Heart.
He was probably the best part, but I didn't care for those teeth.
Well, it's much like the hair in Eraserhead. They were trying to show you who is the real David Lynch on screen.
That's probably true.
Well, thank you for indulging me in this exhibition of I Don't Know Jack. And yeah, I agree with you. If you're out there and you listen to us ramble about this for this long, and you yourself are not a David Lynchman, you don't need to waste time on this. But if you are a fan, hey, this is a good one to look up.
Yeah, or if you're a big fan of Meatballs 4, I think this is required
viewing. Yeah, especially. This should come on, the Blu-ray.
I think so. In the event that anybody on Earth is a Meatballs 4 fan, which I kind of doubt, unless you're me, this is the most the stuff that they talk about in this really makes that movie interesting. Like, what would normally just be like a shitty little Corey Feldman, like, booby movie becomes like a really interesting sort of moment in Hollywood history because of the stuff that they talk about in this documentary.
If they just retitled this thing, The Making of Meatballs 4, slap a new title card on it, then you throw it on the Blu-ray as like a special feature, it's going to be the greatest special feature of all time.
I think that's true.
Doesn't matter that it's got 75 minutes about alcoholism.
True. Well, there might be a little alcoholism in the movie we're going to do next week.
Oh, by the way, I did want to mention real quick in the special thanks and the credits, because, credits in a David Lynch production are usually the most important part. The special thanks thanked Edie McClurg not once, but twice. So they're very thankful to Edie McClurg.
Who wouldn't be?
Yeah.
That's that redheaded lady from the Elvira movie?
Yeah, and Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
I think she was a groundling, maybe, don't you think? Seems like a groundling.
So. Yeah, I think so. I think pretty much everybody from the Elvira movie was.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Everybody in John Paragon's orbit.
Yeah. So the next movie we're going to watch, I wanted to find a movie that's sweaty because it's 110 degrees here this week. So I want to watch a sweaty movie, get in the sweaty summer vibe headspace. And I got a sweaty movie for you, Sean.
Okay. All right.
You've never seen this movie, but I think you're going to like it. I think we're getting back into the possible 5 stars on Letterboxd challenge that we set for ourselves. And to my knowledge, neither one of us has won that challenge yet. But this is a pretty good movie right here.
Does it take place at the center of the earth?
It does. It stars The Rock and Brendan Fraser. No, this is Manhunter, directed by Michael Mann. The very first Hannibal Lecter movie from 1986. A gripping crime thriller. So it's out there. It's available to watch on Criterion right now, as a matter of fact. I know you got that Criterion channel.
Oh, yeah.
And it's also on Amazon Prime. So everybody has the means to watch this, I imagine. Manhunter, it's a nice one. It's a nice film.
Now, this is about the hunting of Michael Mann himself, right?
It's autobiographical.
That's why the lead character has Michael Mann's haircut?
That's exactly true, yes. That would be a good That would be the name of the documentary about Michael Mann.
Oh, yeah.
Manhunter, but with two N's. Like
two N's and a space, I guess. Give it the space so you sell the idea. Otherwise, it's a little bit confusing.
Yeah, I think that's a good plan, too.
I'm looking at the plot description here. Hannibal Lecter has a K? Since when was that a feature of the spelling of his name?
I think maybe just for this movie, because I recently read this book, and I think it was with a C. And I know it's with a C in the later movies. So that might just be some weird thing for this movie.
But this might not be canon.
Canon with a K. If you
make me watch a non-canon Lecter flick, I mean, at that point, I might as well just waste my time watching Star Treks.
Oh, no, it's canon. This is the real canon. Those other movies that came later are not canon, in my estimation. This is the real Hannibal Lecter shit.
Does it take place in a killer's POV sort of fashion?
Some of it, actually. We follow the killer a little bit.
Okay, all right. So this violent nature, not so revolutionary after all.
It's true.
I haven't even seen that movie, but I'm already kind of like off-put by everybody being like, "Oh, it's so what a wild concept to be from the killer's point." I'm like, that doesn't seem that wild to me, dude.
Well, the way they do it, I know that there's been movies like, like the second half of Psycho is from Norman's point of view, but this is like, I mean, because he's silent, and because they do it in like a very literal kind of way, it's different. It's different.
Yeah.
It's a unique film.
He's played by Mel Brooks.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
Man, can you imagine that? Like, what if tomorrow in theaters, a slasher film starring Mel Brooks as the killer? How many times would you go see it? I don't think I would ever leave the theater.
I'd see it at least 30 times.
They'd have to arrest me, you know?
Yeah. I would love to see that kind of movie.
Make it happen, Hollywood. Do it for Mel.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, next week, Mel Hunter. Sounds good. We'll watch that.
Starring Michael Mel.
Michael Mel.
I'm
into it.
Yeah, that's what we're doing next week.
I probably don't sound enthused, but it's difficult to muster enthusiasm when you're dying of COVID.
Understandable. I think
as you know. I mean, you've been there.
Oh, I have been there. It's awful.
I mean, you haven't been there as many times as Kevin, who still refuses to get vaxxed.
I don't want it.
Yeah. I told him to get vaccinated recently. He called me a libtard cuck. I don't know why. It was very rude. But yeah, so that's what we're doing next week. This is the end of the show. Leave us some voicemails. Find us in the Discord. Join our music league. Most importantly, go to patreon.com/junkfooddinner. Sign up if you want to donate just a couple of dollars to say thanks for doing 37 years in a row of podcasts. That would be very appreciated.
Yeah. If you want to say thanks for nearly journeying to the center of the earth, but then bailing about halfway through.
Yeah.
So it could either be thanking us for the attempt, or you could be thanking us for bailing. You know what I mean? Like, no matter how you felt about those Journey series, if you were on board, if you were off board, you got reason to thank us.
Literally nobody was on board.
I don't know. There's got to be another Gertrude the Goose fan out there.
I think H.G. Wells' estate was probably on board since they were getting those royalties from us, renting the movies.
Who do you think was bribing me to pick those movies? It was not the listening public.
I believe that. So yeah, donate a couple of dollars on Patreon. You'll get the Bookhouse Boys. We've reviewed damn near every single episode of Twin Peaks, all season 1, season 2, season 3, Firewalk with Me, the missing Firewalk with Me parts. It's all there. If you're a David Lynch man, this is your shit.
Yeah,
we're going deep onto the show.
We even re-reviewed that episode with the nuclear bomb. We did it twice.
Yeah, true. So check that out if you're a Lynch man.
Yeah. And if you want to know the actual secret to the return, just overlay those two reviews of episode 8 on top of each other that we did. I think you'll learn a few things.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
The secrets are all in there.
So yeah, check out all of that stuff, and I guess we will see you next time. This is Parker for Sean saying thanks for having fun.